The sun sets over the American Midwest, casting long shadows across thousands of acres of soil. It is the brief, highly restrictive window for seasonal tillage. Moving through this landscape is the John Deere 8R series. It is a massive piece of equipment, generating hundreds of horsepower to pull heavy implements deep into the earth. But looking closely as it makes its pass, you will notice the cab is completely empty. The steering wheel turns and the throttle engages, but there is no human operator inside. The human operator is being removed from the field entirely, marking a distinct shift in how the world produces its food. For generations, agriculture relied on laborers like this, individuals working the soil from dawn until dusk. That workforce is rapidly disappearing. This data shows U.S. farmers are heavily concentrated around the average age of 57.5, with only 8% under 35. As this generation retires, the rural labor pool shrinks significantly, and the cost to hire remaining skilled workers rises sharply to fill the gap. At the exact same time, global demand is accelerating. The Food and Agriculture Organization projects that by 2050, global food production must increase by 70% to sustain a growing population. Nations in the global north are caught in a mathematical contradiction. They must produce drastically higher yields while relying on a labor force that is rapidly evaporating. To bridge that gap, the modern tractor has evolved into a data-driven cyber-physical system, moving away from its origins as purely mechanical hardware. The hardware relies on a 16 stereo camera array arranged in a halo configuration. This setup provides continuous 360-degree vision with triple overlap redundancy, scanning the environment in every direction. In tight environments with dense overhead canopies, like orchards, the system pairs those cameras with integrated LiDAR sensors, bouncing light off branches and trellises to accurately map spatial depth. All of this data requires immense computing power on the machine itself. The edge processors generate a live 3D point cloud, classifying every pixel, branch, and obstacle in under 100 milliseconds. The tractor moves beyond the limitations of static GPS guidance, actively interpreting its environment and reacting to field conditions with sub-second precision. In macroeconomic terms, this technological leap is measured by total factor productivity, or TFP. This is the ratio of agricultural output generated relative to the combined volume of inputs used to produce it. Driverless machinery optimizes the most critical input of all, time. An autonomous tractor can run 24 hours a day, allowing farmers to plant or harvest constantly during tight weather windows without pausing for shift changes or sleep. This systemic flowchart shows the impact of precision autonomous applications. By steering with centimeter accuracy and operating continuously, these systems drive overall crop yields upward by up to 20%. Looking at the reciprocal downward trend on this chart, that same precision means herbicides and seeds are placed exactly where needed, dropping chemical and seed input metrics by 15%. For industrialized nations, autonomous technology maximizes output and minimizes the need for both physical materials and human labor, providing a direct solution to their demographic crisis. Zooming out from the massive industrialized farms of the West reveals a different reality in places like sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia. Here, mechanization is sparse. Cultivation relies heavily on animal power to turn the earth, and the harvest requires intense manual human labor to gather the crops by hand. Primary agriculture accounts for just 5% of employment in Europe, but a massive 46% across Africa. Consolidating this, we see the true scale. Nearly 1.3 billion people, 2 out of every 5 workers worldwide, depend on the agri-food system. In these developing regions, physical labor serves as the core economic bedrock that sustains entire communities and supports household survival. Yet the technology is expanding. Manufacturers are actively developing sub-60 horsepower autonomous retrofit kits, pricing and sizing them specifically for smallholder farms. This creates a direct, inevitable collision course. Achieving peak autonomous efficiency in the global south would stabilize their food supply, but simultaneously eliminate their primary source of wage employment. The risk of displacement is especially high for vulnerable populations. Women make up nearly 40% of this agricultural workforce, and transferring their tasks to autonomous machines would sever their primary economic lifeline. Previous shifts in mechanization moved millions of farm workers into factory jobs, but today's transition affects a labor pool numbering over 1 billion people. Humanity is caught in a direct conflict between the necessity of feeding the world and the stability of the global workforce.